This Super Bowl 59 MVP edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with the partner picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hat looks fire.
Thank you. Joining us, also rocking a fire hat. You know him, you love him. CJ Sullivan, aka the man in the box. From the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. What's happening, CJ?
What's up, fellas? Good to be here as we get down to home stretch. I'm ready this week. Got the hat.
Yeah, these are looking great. Shout out to Jake, did an awesome job with the D-Gens hat. Of course, 15% off when you use the promo code Big Game in the merch store.
Yeah.
Get yours today.
Also, this week I'm ready for your whole camps hijinks. If you want to do it,
What?
there's been a.
There you go.
Whoa, look at that. We got a pinky ring. All right.
It's an aura ring. You know, it was put in the emergency bag during the fires. I had to save the aura ring. It's very important.
Great aura, great vibes.
Yeah.
And I was going to plug one more thing about the hats, which first of all, if you love the hats, you get to the merch store and you see a color combo we don't have.
Yeah.
Hit Jake up directly or hit us up. But also, if you look closely and you don't, if you haven't spent hours staring at embroidered hats like I have, one thing you'll notice is that we have a seam down the middle of the hat, which what this indicates to anyone who knows ball when it comes to hat, and I know CJ does.
Yep.
Bigger size.
Yes, bigger size.
It
right.
fits a bigger head a little bit better. It's not going to do that thing where it buckles out on you. CJ, explain this marvel of a fucking hat right now.
Case in point, as you know, we usually go right to the duct tape, last strong, you know, hanging on like Stallone and Cliffhanger. But this one, I could even do 3.
Wow.
Don't want a migraine though, so I went. You'll see double. I mean, that is a victory, just a double, and it's loosey goosey over here. I mean,
Do the Dan Quinn. Look
this
at
is
you.
a huge size of ball, very comfortable, very impressive.
Sean used to openly make fun of the hat size banter. Now that you've come around, he doesn't full on make fun of me as much anymore.
Well, I mean,
now that it's real,
and it's become more real. And
it's a handicap
for sure, 100%.
It's a my whole life.
Waterheads, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Excuse you.
Man.
Big head full of water, Ryan. Isn't that what I assume that what's where the expression comes from?
That's not what it's not what it stands for, and you don't want to know what it really means.
The tally of how many calculations I've done on this show in this waterhead through the roof.
No, we discussed before there should be a support group for us large-headed individuals.
Anyway.
You know what I mean? We deal with I had separate helmets during football growing up, separate boxes.
If you two have a large head,
yeah.
Not only do we sell now large headed hats, but I think we're up to 4X on some of the products in the upper body department. So we're for everyone.
Yes, and we had Cody on last episode. Make sure you check
from
that
4X
out.
to Cody.
I was gonna say, Ryan, that the race.
This is nothing but a bullying show. Left to the campaign.
Ryan has turned into a bully.
Speaking of fat fucks, our NASCAR show, Cody.
The race officials are terrorists T-shirt is available in 4X.
In 4X. Well, a NASCAR.
Actually, I think 3X. I don't want to get anyone angry. Yeah, 3.
A NASCAR 4X is like a normal double X. So I mean, it kind of goes.
Yeah,
on the grade.
NASCAR runs. Those NASCAR shirts run big.
They run big.
All right. We got a lot to get to. We're going to talk a little squares strategy because Circus Squares, you can pick out your own square for the Super Bowl.
What?
It's also good because as someone who's run a Super Bowl square spool for a very long time, the most idiotic thing that happens, it happens every year, is people, they look at you, they go, this looks interesting. What's the strategy?
Right.
Like that actually doesn't matter. It's a lottery.
But some numbers are better than other
They'll
numbers,
study
right?
the grid and well, forget that. Even once you get them past the randomness of the number draw, there is still a psychology that people don't want to pick on the edge. As if there's some, I know some contests like bordering squares will maybe pay you money, but in a standard pool, bordering squares do nothing. And yet there's a weird psychological experiment that kicks in when you watch someone. Yeah, the edge is risky. I'm going to go right to the middle. Like it's the same thing. Anyway, yeah. There is, I guess there would be some strategy to picking numbers if you had the ability to pick your numbers.
Well, there's been, let's see, just looking real quickly here. There's 11 different combinations that have never appeared in a Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know, there's been 232 total quarters played in 58 Super Bowls.
Okay.
And there's been 11 that have been used. The number combination 0-3 is most popular. That is, but that's only appeared 22 times, which is a lot, but that's the most.
What's that, like 10%? 20%?
232. Yeah, just under 10%, right? 10% would be what, 23? So yeah, just under it. Let's see. The numbers. You could probably guess the numbers that have never been.
You know what the
9 is a bad number.
9.
Well, I was going to say the shocking numbers, if I recall, and I'm sure the math is slightly drifting with the 2-point conversion changes and things, but always surprising to find out initially as someone who maybe is a TMZ fan. 8's not a very good number.
Yeah, I have
9 is not very good. 2, 5
Actually,
obviously not very good. 1 is worse than you think.
Yeah, actually, I take it back. 5 is worse than 9 by far.
So by memory, Sean, if I had to guess, the worst number is 2, followed by 5.
Close.
It's not 2's not worse.
Actually, I'll pull up the chart here. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast.
2, 5, 9, 8.
Well, 3 times.
1, 6.
I'll say this:
I guess.
5 is the worst because 3 times it has never come up. 5 with 3, 5 with 4, and 5 with 5.
So now this is just all quarters combined. The ending digit, how many times it's hit. 5 is the worst. With 11 times, 2 with 12 times, 8, as you mentioned, Ryan, 8 in your head is like, 28, right. 38.
That's it though. Those are the
but
two.
those, and to get
higher
to that
scoring.
Exactly, with missed extra points or whatever, it becomes tougher. 9 with 22, 1 having 30 times. 6 is one that you probably wouldn't be excited about, but that's hit 36 times. 4, 46 times. 3. Pretty obvious there, 73, 86, 7, and 0 hitting 123 times. I didn't realize 0 was that much better than 7.
Zero appeared 26.9% of the time. 7 has appeared 18%, 18.5% of the time.
Think about it. Nothing happening.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. Also fairly easy to get to 10
and 20,
20, 30. Also not that, I think the thing that I would pull out of that data, if I was trying to find an edge in a game like Circus Squares, where you can pick your quarter and your numbers, 6 is probably a better, like, so if you look at the overall distribution, like Sean just showed us, 6 is middle of the pack. I have a feeling that 6 goes ahead of numbers like 4, 1, whatever else it was sitting there with when you look at first quarter and halftime. I think 6 is probably one where you see a distribution that's skewed more towards the beginning of the game than the end of the game. Like if you we were just talking about 8. 8's probably very correlated to the end of the game versus the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I would guess 6 is a number where you probably see it a little bit more. It might be a fun number to play earlier in the which I don't have the odds in front of me actually.
No, I do have the Circus Squares, and maybe we'll walk through it real quick. Maybe we pick each square we want to hop on. Before we do that, of course, shout out to
now these odds change too.
Yeah,
right?
they are live. So if someone comes in and pounds 0-0, it might adjust.
Right. But you get what you get down on, just like any other bet.
Just like any
That's
other bet.
what's kind of great about it.
That is fun.
The idea of having a better price than someone else
Yes,
on the
that's
same number
right.
combination is electric.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for all those squares to snap up
CLD.
0-0, and then I got some 8-0 in my pocket.
I like sharp square betting.
Yes, that's what we're doing here.
Yes.
Of course, reminder, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. Sign up today. Get in there. $1,000. Winner take all. Only one square pays out. The final square. We will pick 100 people, maybe the first 100, the last 100.
Sean will pick 100 people.
Yeah, very easy to pick 100 people. And of course, we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Just been using my Edge Boost card, and why not? It makes it super easy to deposit. Sportsbook, DFS, sweepstakes site, racetrack, casino. I used it on the Circus Sports app earlier. Very easy to just dial it in there. It's FDIC insured, but really for me, I love a good rewards program. You can get up to $750 cash back for just depositing like you normally would. Very easy to use this Visa debit card from Edge Boost. And again, it's completely free, no credit checks. It is a debit card. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards. You help out the show and instant tier 2 status. EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN. EdgeBoost.bet, promo code SGPN. And of course, shout out to MyBookie.ag. They already got their Super Bowl props up. Why not get in? SGPN. And MyBookie is great with all the novelty stuff, Ryan. Of course, you remember we hacked MyBookie and exactly predicted the number of planes in the flyover. Granted, it was a $20 minimum, but it felt good to get a guaranteed win to kick it off. They got all the wacky stuff. They already have like Gatorade color up. Of course, for the true DGens, you get the live dealer casino, deposit and withdrawal easily with the sweet cryptocurrency. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the deposit bonus. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. So yeah, let's talk Circus Squares because it's fun and it's actually a registered trademark. They I don't know, I had never heard of anyone doing it. They were able to trademark it, so
it's great.
So I definitely 100% was in pools where you could, like, the numbers were laid out and it was like in a bidding style. So
almost like a fantasy thing.
Oh, all right.
So like imagine you say I want you know, I want 5
an auction.
Yeah.
Like that like the Circa commercial. Now that makes sense. Where the nostalgic Mike Palm on the board. Like they used to be crazy. I'm like, when did this ever happen? What are you talking about? But now it makes sense. Kramer was involved in these.
I mean, you never were in a pool where there was any sort of like ability to purchase your square.
No, mine was always just how you do it. If you you buy in for whatever.
I was into a lot of stuff, maybe, but yeah.
You know I'm a degenerate.
I was just gonna say, clip that.
First quarter. Now, obviously 0-0 at plus 450.
It's the most popular number combination at the end of first quarter. That's hit the most is 0-0.
Yeah, that's
nothing happening again.
We're 10-0.
That's kind of fun. Is there anything?
But nothing.
I'll say this because of the Eagles' aggressiveness, the penalty, and then they get the tush push. 8 for the Eagles in the first quarter. To me,
kind of like how Boise State used to automatically, when Boise State used to put up 50, 60 points, you would put it on the board. They're going 8-0. They weren't even thinking about kicking the extra point.
I'll tell you this: Eagles 8, Chiefs 6 at 750 to 1. That's a fun. I'll be putting like $2 on that. Kramer, is there any? I know we haven't done a ton of research here on the squares, but first look here, is there any of these Circus Squares you find intriguing?
Yeah, I mean, like we were discussing, like the idea of working a 6 into something. And so
8-6. I like
that. That's certainly interesting. If someone there's an attempt to go toe to toe. What is the 8-6
or 2 field goals?
8-6 for Eagles.
Failed 2-point conversion for the Chiefs.
Right.
So 8-6. Yeah, either 2 field goals or a failed 2-point. Because there's a couple ways you could get to 6, obviously.
Or
750 to 1.
750 to 1.
I'd actually just play that both ways. Honestly, as I was trying to process this, I would just play some 6 combinations.
Okay.
6-7, 6-3, 6-8, something like that.
And let's not put a Miss Jake Elliott PAT out of the equation or something like that.
Well, 6-7 to Kramer's point, 6 for the Eagles, 7 for the Chiefs is 40-1. Or how is 6-6 300-1? A little. We always play that no score in the first 5 minutes. It's a Super Bowl. They've had 2 weeks off. Little even that Eagles Chiefs. I feel like Super Bowl. They're just super high scoring. Off the top of my head, I don't think they scored it.
And we should clarify, this is first quarter only.
Yeah, first quarter only.
You pay for each quarter individually. And the Patriots. I mean, obviously that was the craziest Super Bowl when the Eagles beat the Patriots when Nick Foles was much better than Tom Brady.
Got that one in.
That game got out of hand with extra points and kicking too.
Yeah.
I mean, where there was missed extra points, missed field goals, and it seemed like they were both like going equally terrible by flaws. They were chasing and missing and following each other up. And so then it went for 2-point conversions. So I think the score was 15-6 at one point, right?
No, it was
5-6 in like the first quarter.
It got super weird. Yeah. It got super weird. CJ, is there a square long shot or is there like a chalk? I mean, 3-0 at 775 is interesting. I think
the sharps. I can tell you like through absorbing information from other people who would represent themselves as smart.
Yeah.
There is value in the chalk.
Yeah. Okay.
Because because it's a market that's going to be fluid, and you think about what you're betting into here. Anyone can walk up to the window with no intelligence and say, give me 2-5.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have clearly an inefficient market. And if you're going to have an inefficient market with a distribution that looks like the Super Bowl or like football scoring, they're obviously not going to make the favorites chalky enough.
I like P. Bart in the chat saying blocked field goal return for 2 points. I think he means block extra point, but still, I like that. That's going to create some mayhem in the squares.
I was going to say, what is a 9-7 Philly? I can see a early field goal, touchdown, and then a missed extra point when we score.
But I mean, like just real quick to do some math, like so based on what you guys were showing earlier, it's fair to expect that in one quarter, a quarter of the time 0 is showing up. So, if 0 is showing up with 0 so we increase that probability for the first quarter. We say that distribution is a little bit front loaded.
Okay.
And we say it's actually closer to like a third. And then we add in the fact that it would have to be double 0. So again, both loaded up.
Yeah.
Plus 450. It's a good price. And the other ones, if we did the math, like 2,000-1 is probably a pretty shitty price.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, like the longest shots are probably not good. And I would love to see the money splits page would be very interesting if I could see the money distribution on this board.
I'll say this: 9-3 happened once. I think that was Philly, New England, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
9-3 happened. 9-0 happened once.
Okay.
8-0 happened once.
EV Steelers asking if the Giants started 2-0 on the Tom Brady led Patriots. That's correct, because Tom Brady was called for intentional grounding in the end zone.
And I think Seattle's
first play of the game,
2-0.
But
those were those back-to-back years. I remember being in the South Point ball or a little like comedy room there for one of them, and there was mayhem.
So yeah, Seattle, and they got to the Broncos Seattle first quarter was 8-0. It was a safety, then 2 field goals. So that's kind of an interesting way to get to an 8-0.
That is
because you had 5 in play for a little bit.
Yeah. So CJ, you wanted to know about 9-7, Eagles 9, Chiefs 7, 250.
250-1, and this is not like horse racing where it'll get higher for you once it goes off at. Like, so that's why I think Kramer's point's right. You should probably just play chalk on these kind of things.
But yeah, my edge for the first quarter would be maybe look to a 6. See what I did there? Tout trick, right? I just threw out half the equation.
Half a good part of a teaser leg.
Thank you.
And you don't actually share the other half. Halftime.
Keep an eye out for the 6.
Keep an eye out for the 6.
CJ does sound like a horse racing guy.
If you're playing the 6 now right. you think this game is going to be
6.
Then you got to wheel it.
Hard fought. Right. Well, what you've done is you've now brought 9 and 2 into the equation. because again with this, we think these teams could go for 2 aggressively, and the idea that they're running into tough defenses down around the red zone. So
9-2 is 375 to 1 each way.
9-2 was
should be more.
But yeah,
should be a lot more.
Final score of the last
Probably, yeah.
Final score of the last Chiefs game was 9-2, I believe, right?
Really?
32-29, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Oh, you're right for the final.
So
game.
yeah, but so halftime
9-2. Oh no, yeah, okay.
it would be more like, okay, maybe in that game where it was 6-8, maybe that turns into a 9-1. Sean, for example, what's 9-1? Give me 1 for the Eagles, 9 for the Patriots. Or 9 for the Chiefs.
9 for the Chiefs, one for the Eagles.
Yeah.
250 to 1. Now, if you go back to the
I don't like these halftime prices. I'm not seeing as many long shots here.
The halftime of the Eagles Chiefs was Eagles were up 24-14, so 4-4, 35 to 1.
How'd they lose that game? That Jalen Hurts was so much better than today's Jalen Hurts. It's amazing. He looks so sharp, decisive, skinny, quick.
Yeah, I mean he was
now
quicker,
he's a freight
but
train.
Really it was just that fumble and defensive touchdown. James Bradbury is not on the team, although he's technically on the roster.
He's getting paid $10 million.
Yeah, was he one of your trivia questions, Ryan? You said how many people were on the?
No.
Oh, because he wasn't on the 2017 winning Super Bowl roster.
The trivia was the 4 guys who were on the Eagles last time they won the Super Bowl. Lane Johnson is the easiest one.
Right.
Jake Elliott probably the second easiest.
Brandon Graham.
You may not know that Brandon Graham has a chance to come back from his pec injury for the Super Bowl, but he's still on the roster. And then long snapper. The long snappers stick around for a while.
Yeah,
they're like
not the magician.
Not the magician. Lovato, the new guy.
Demi Lovato.
Third quarter. Any thoughts on the third quarter?
I want to
pricing?
see the final.
Yeah, let's just go to the final.
No one bets the third quarter. But if you did, 7-3 is the most common for third quarter. 3-7, I should say.
7-3, 21 to 1 each way. So yeah,
okay.
Seeing these prices make me like the prices with my 6 in the first quarter better.
Yeah. Well, because obviously, but like a 6-6.
No, just relative to the other
6-6 final score, that would be 26-16.
Hypothetically, let's just say Chiefs 6, Eagles 3. What's that pay?
Chiefs 6, Eagles 3. So like a 23-16 Eagles win, you would cash
26-23.
26-23.
I'm buying this ticket. What's the number? I'm going to
45 to 1.
What's the number on that one?
You want the rotation number?
I want the rotation number. I'm writing it down.
People, pull your car over so you can get this rotation number.
Actually, great idea for the prop show, Sean. We're going to announce the rotation.
I was just going to say, make sure you say the rotation number when you're betting. When you are placing these bets.
We've been doing the show for 15 years now. About time we grew up and we became adults and started referring to betting in the only way that you can if you're sophisticated with the rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I do like a Eagles 32, Chiefs 23. That's 120 to 1. And the more I think about it, in honor of Cooper DeJean, if you're into numerology, Cooper DeJean, it's his birthday, 33. Saquon Barkley's 26, combines the 59. Why not apply that to the final score? Eagles 33, Chiefs 26. The 3-6 there pays 45 to 1.
Wait, so that's another in my 3-6, Eagles 3, Chiefs 6.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, 33-26, that works.
Wait, so even without buying into this Zodiac bullshit that you're doing right now,
you stumbled into it, Ryan.
And Sean will attest to this. The final score was locked into an envelope days ago. So there's no David Blaine magic going on here.
CJ, any intriguing final scores here? Yeah.
Most popular combination is 4 and 7 for the final score. There.
Okay,
that happened 5 times. Easily a 27-14 game. I think that there's going to be an under kind of a game, and I can see it being that similar right there. I also am regretting bringing this up completely at all for the show. Imagine hearing the numbers. It must be painful for this audience.
What do you mean? No, this is great. I guarantee because here's the thing. You don't ever think about this. And
no,
it's no one likes to do math, but this is the one kind of mathematical.
This is information. I will say that no one else is talking about this, probably for a reason. But there's no one else is getting
our
this
audience
kind of
appreciates a deep dive into Super Bowl square strategy.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So I like 7-4, but
Here's what
I think you throw out the popular numbers when these two teams anyway, like you're saying with Reed and Sirianni.
Yeah,
I see a crazy number. I see each quarter being crazy.
I think there's also no excitement to a boring ass score prediction.
Right.
Right. So you have that element too.
100%.
Like it's easier to go long because I'm not going to guess 7-4.
Yes.
And I would also now that I'm putting further thought into this, I would expect that the edges lie in basically the actual distribution of scoring in football versus the distribution of scores that have happened in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, because that's irrelevant. It's just like the roulette wheel, right? You can tell me what's happened over the last 50 spins.
The football field has no memory. It's not like, oh yeah, it always. And I do predict some weird scores. This has weird.
Now, just like this, right? Like, so you have a lot of there's a decent amount of what would they call these people? Rec plus bettors, I think, who think they're smart, but they're not actually that smart. So they're like, oh, I got some data over here, and it's not the right data, but they might use it as the data, and that would provide an edge for someone who ran maybe a million simulations on a football game and found out the actual point distribution. I want to know. I want to meet the person who is grinding circa squares for edges. He's got like a thick ass stack of like, oh, dude.
What is that?
AI learning?
I'm telling you, dude. I got at least 10 points of CLV on sixes in the first quarter.
Neutral CLV on squares. What was 38-35? That was the last Super Bowl they played.
Yeah. Okay.
What's 8-5?
Run it back.
Run it back, but flip it around to Philly.
I mean, 8-5
60-1
is a big nut.
That's
I like
nice.
that. I like that.
8-5. I was like 35-32. If you want to, once we're keep an eye out for that. I'm just saying. Keep an eye out for that.
Sixes. I keep seeing the sixes.
Well, you're demonic, right?
6-3. 6-3.
We got to get. Well, we will talk.
You know about 369, Sean?
No, what is that?
We'll talk about it another time.
Okay.
Those demon numbers.
I don't know.
Right. Anytime you bring this up, now my algorithm's all conspiracy based theories and.
Who's that actor who has like the amazing amount of like chemistry and like science knowledge? Is it Terrence Howard?
Yeah,
he's had some crazy videos of him talking about
on Rogan.
He has a conversation with Rogan where he talks about the periodic table not being structured in this brick format, but in fact it's a string essentially. And these anyway.
And then there's a video of Neil
3, 6, and 9 were discussed in that context.
Neil deGrasse Tyson debunking the entire thing. It's pretty it's pretty great.
Well, sometimes you don't want.
Well, I didn't want to be the one to go. Did Ryan just confuse Terrence Howard with Neil deGrasse Tyson? When Colby thought
he did not. No.
Colby, who was the guy?
Colby's problematic.
We were flying private. That's how you got to start the story. We were flying private.
On a PJ.
And in the waiting area, we saw the guy from Rocky, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Played football at San Diego State. Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Colby goes, I know that's Carl Weathers. Yeah. This was when Carl Weathers was alive, R.I.P. And it was just a random black guy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as when he fell for the fake Mr. T, where he got a cameo of fake Mr. T.
What?
Wait,
you don't know about this?
So did he go up to Carl Weathers first of all?
No,
real quick?
no.
Well, it wasn't as bad as Sean.
Say I loved you in Action. I loved you in Action Jackson.
Sean calling Eddie Griffin Chris Tucker. That was
that was pretty bad. I was pretty drunk.
That's passable though. That's fine. I'll give you a pass on that one. Let me hear about the fake Mr. T.
Oh yeah, we'll pull up the fake Mr. T.
I pity the fool that don't listen to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Listen. I'm not gonna say I'm good friends with Mr. T, but Mr. T's daughter does comedy in Chicago, and we came together, and I've met Mr. T a couple times, and that fake Mr. T is a better. He got his money's worth better with that one. Trust me, you don't want the real Mr. T giving you a cameo.
I pity the fool that don't listen to SGPN. At this point,
Let
it ride, brother.
This guy can deliver. Oh, he really fades there at the end. Let it ride, brother. He combined Hulk Hogan with that. That was great. That's awesome. Yeah, he got his money's worth.
Certainly entertainment value. Yeah. New sound drop. We got it. If you missed it, the new coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars with a very inspiring press conference and had to hit their catchphrase. This is the Jags' new head coach.
Duval.
His eyebrows very wrestling like there. He's got like a Captain Lou Albano eyebrow. Yeah, it's a little sassy.
I think the way, just watch it again, the way he throws his shoulders into it with the eyebrow raise is
like
Duval.
leader of men.
A lot of people drive 2 cars, Ryan. Come on.
CJ, after watching that, goes, I can't believe it. I'm going to be back on the Jags.
I'm back in on the Jags. I got soaked this year, believing in Lawrence and Peterson and everyone. I swore them off, and then
I was going to say you were ahead of market.
Yeah, and they come right back, and bring me right back in. Oh, I like this.
Can you play that one more time?
I like this.
You want another a Duval here?
One more time.
One more time.
Duval.
Eyebrow super raised, and then does a
Duval.
This guy, is this not?
From
is this
Zoolander?
not the coach?
Zoolander? Yeah, Will Ferrell as Zoolander.
What's his character in that one?
Mugatu.
Mugatu. Yeah.
He looks like, but what do you don't think he was prepped? Like, hey man, you might have to throw a Duval out there.
Oh, I think he was, and that was his
100%. And
you got to get a little out of your voice.
I defend him by saying there's no good way to do Duval, and those bath salt heads down in Jacksonville. I've spent many a time in Jacksonville.
That's fair.
And they don't really know Duval. It's always idiotic. So
yeah,
I like his interpretation of it. Hey, he made a choice. He went with it. Sean as a comic, you as like he made an acting choice. You got to stand behind him. He did not half-ass it. He full did his eyebrow raise, sassy, and he went viral. And that's all you want is attention. Still better attention than the Dallas Cowboy press conference.
Hey, we're gonna get to Super Bowl MVPs before we do. Shout out to Rhythm, of course, your place. AI-powered sports betting platform, picks, props, they got it all. They've been helping me with the college basketball, NFL props. They already got some Super Bowl props in. One that's jumping off to me, or jumping out off the page here that I like. Xavier Worthy under 54.5 receiving yards. Totally co-sign that. And the data backs it up. I think if Quinyon Mitchell is put on Xavier Worthy, I think that's a good matchup in the Eagles' favor. And Mahomes hasn't been thrown for a ton of passing yards. Obviously, they're super successful in getting the wins, but they haven't been lighting up the scoreboard stat wise. And they do spread the ball around. So Xavier Worthy under 45.5 receiving yards. I'll co-sign that. Rhythm likes it. I like it. And it's super fun, easy. Build your own player props, your models, and get it going today. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're also brought to you by Underdog. Of course, pick 'em. Lighten up for the NFL Super Bowl. Use the promo code SGPN. Get you $1,000 in bonus cash. I mean, so fun. And we hit our shout out to Colby. We hit our college basketball underdog entry, Ryan, from our last college basketball episode. That was a nice hit by Colby.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Tossing them in. Love a good sweat on the underdog pick 'em. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. Kramer, let's talk a little.
And if you missed it, if you should go check it out. But we did build a little season-long NASCAR banger mixed with a Jalen Hurts higher touchdown.
That's a 4Xer.
Yes. So it's just
check
funny.
Back in 8 months.
It's just funny because I'm gonna have this sitting in my underdog pending entry for 8 months.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
So yeah, we gotta let's talk about the. Of course, the Super Bowl MVP. Now, I've heard some sharp gambling shows try and lead you astray here. Let's talk big picture. First off, there's a bet out there that the MVP could go to the guy not on the winning team. 25-1, horrific bet. Whatever you do. On the Super Bowl, I can guarantee you.
Wait,
it's not going
25-1.
Yes,
for the player on the losing
team to get the Super Bowl MVP. Ryan, is that not the worst price you've ever heard?
Has that ever happened?
No.
So this is what I'll say. It's a terrible price. You're right. It's not the bet's never going to happen. The only reason why I would defend the price is if it's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen to one of the top guys. You know what I mean? So
I guess that's true. You're
so
right.
like Barkley can get it if he runs for whatever 250 and they still lose. Mahomes could get it if he goes off and the Eagles still win. By a missed field goal. However the situation is, which I don't see happening.
Yeah.
The losing team get it. You're getting 25 to 1 on one of those top guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's probably how they priced it. But still, it's never happened. Sure. Whereas like if you want some long shot stuff, play maybe some defensive players on the Eagles.
Right.
Because to me, at least the way I see the game going, there's a couple scenarios. Well, obviously, if the Chiefs win, it's really, really going to be hard to get off of Mahomes. If you like the Chiefs, I don't know what else you're playing besides Mahomes. Like maybe Kelsey, but again, Kelsey relies on. It would have to be like. I don't see anyone in the Chiefs defense winning this.
No,
I don't see one of the, Pacheco or Kareem. Kareem Hunt would have to have like 3 touchdowns.
Kareem Hunt, I don't mind at 60 to 1 though.
Okay, so yeah, I guess to me, I would look like what is Kareem Hunt's.
Just because he's their RB1. I mean, he can get 3 touchdowns. And
yeah, I guess like Kareem Hunt, 3 touchdown, 2 touchdown.
Right.
Kelsey is tough because for him to get in the end zone, he has to be thrown by Patrick Mahomes. And I think again, why I don't like the guy not to win on the losing team, besides the fact that it's not going to happen, it's never happened, is that if the Chiefs win, Mahomes is going to get credit for the 3-peat, and they're going to want to give it to him, right?
Kareem Hunt is 65 to 1 to score 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
So like to Sean's point on what, if you're going to take the long shot,
I would just ladder Kareem Hunt touchdowns and you're going to play him 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, if he wins the MVP, it's reasonable to expect that he's scored at least 2 touchdowns and he probably has a good yardage day.
Yeah.
So you can build some stuff to get past the price on MVP.
But parlay it with, now you're not going to get true odds, but parlay Kareem Hunt 3 rushing Chiefs touchdown with Chiefs money line.
Real quick, bringing it back to the losing player angle. And I found some data from 10 years ago. I believe the only player to win the award on the losing team was last year in hockey. Is that correct?
I think it might have happened in hockey a couple times actually
in the past 10 years.
But that's
anyway.
But they award the entire.
Well, yeah, and the hockey list is crazy long. It's but if you throw out hockey, because like you said, Conn Smythe is more than just the.
It's not just the finals. They award all the entire playoffs.
So it's happened one time.
Yeah.
In the NBA.
Okay.
Jerry West in 1969 won on the 100%. Lakers.
Wouldn't take the trophy.
It's happened one time in Major League Baseball. Bobby Richardson, who was a second baseman for the New York Yankees in 1961 in losing effort, and it has happened in one time in the NFL. Sean,
really?
Yes, 1971. Chuck Howley won for the Dallas Cowboys at linebacker for the losing team. I'm guessing they lost to the Steelers that year.
Yeah. Now, right in the NBA,
I thought I didn't realize that. I missed that.
If it didn't happen when they gave it to Iguodala instead of LeBron, then it's never gonna happen.
But yeah, like think about the dates on all the shit I just told you. It was 1969, 1971, and 1960. It's just
I'll just rephrase it in the modern NFL.
Yes. Well, I got a question. How is it exactly phrased? The name.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't have it in front of me. I just heard was listening to a show.
Because does it have to be on the losing team? My question is, can a referee win the Super Bowl MVP?
Anyway,
I would give 4 to 1 on that for the officials to help the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
So yeah,
but I've also all right. So back to combing the board, but I've heard literally both sides of the argument of you can only bet these 3 players or you should not bet these 3 players because their prices aren't worth it. Right? You compare Mahomes to the price. The
Mahomes price is obscene.
Yeah.
Well, why would you do that instead of just betting the Chiefs? I mean, for 20 cents. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, because at that point, it's a decent add to your edge. Okay. And in my opinion, so the reason I would take Mahomes MVP over Chiefs winning the game is there's factors outside of performance in this game, in this award. Like Sean mentioned, they will have a 3-peat. The likelihood, and again, I always bring this back to fucking Justin Tuck in that Super Bowl where Eli Manning he had some great plays, but at the end of the day, he didn't have great counting stats. He didn't have any of it. He had 2 touchdowns, but
he had that last drive.
The last drive, but he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
which in a low scoring game, fine. But Justin Tuck definitely had that award. Now with Mahomes, the version, to your point, if Kareem Hunt has a 100-yard 3 touchdown game, yeah, I'll defer. That seems very unlikely to me. The likelihood that they score more than 3 touchdowns and Mahomes isn't responsible for 2 of them at least, which you get him to 2 touchdowns and that's that.
Oh, 1,000%. I understand why he's plus 110, but I'm saying I don't understand why you would take it just to give yourself a 20-cent edge. It's a risk I wouldn't want to take
because it's a better price than the money line. If I'm comparing it, if I'm comparing it to the money line,
do you think there's no world whatsoever where Chiefs win and he doesn't get his MVP? That doesn't world doesn't exist.
If the 3-peat wasn't on the table, I think there would be injury is the case. Injury.
Well, and I think
injury.
Kelsey, no chance.
No. Sean made the case.
It's
Kelsey's success involves Mahomes' success.
Yeah. So looking at
but if Kelsey's success is 2 touchdowns and 100 yards and Mahomes throws for 180,
Edelman.
I understand you're the other side of the argument.
And what if one of those passes is one of those Andy Reid handoff shovel deals?
But one
of those ring around the
That's
rosies.
a running nuts.
You know what I mean?
Edelman in 2019 is like an interesting case where maybe one of these I saw in the chat Rosenberg had Xavier Worthy. Maybe one of these guys has a bunch of catches
and carries.
It's a Super Bowl. There's plenty of opportunities to have fun. First reception, first touchdown. The MVP is just not the award to do that in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll
not with these teams.
I would
not
say,
with the storylines around these teams.
But to counter that, Ryan, to your take here on the and I do agree. I think if
although the refs, I didn't factor that until CJ
Dean
brought it up.
Blandino, the TV ref, they're gonna dump him Gatorade.
Dino Blandino.
I think if it's anywhere close, he's such a tiebreaker for the Chiefs. But on the other side, I think the Eagles, and for the Eagles to win, I think obviously they have to play a pretty good game defensively. And I think part of the narrative will be when the Eagles win / if the Eagles win, oh my God, the Eagles defense stopped Patrick Mahomes. And if there's one guy on that team that perhaps has 2.5 sacks, has the defensive touchdown, a strip sack in a key moment, I think they're worth the shot, especially at 425 to 1. Like Nolan Smith is leading the playoffs in sacks right now with 4.5, and he's 425 to 1. I'm going to put $20 on that.
That's
so
a nice number.
Here I would just go back to Eli and Justin Tuck.
Yeah,
Justin Tuck had that game, right? He had 2 sacks, the fumble, and
sure, but I mean, and not for me to make a case for Eli, but like let's say Brandon Jacobs broke off a run and got that second touchdown, and he only had 1 passing touchdown. That maybe Tuck gets it.
If there's that game-winning drive, it doesn't matter. And I think for the Eagles to win the game, if the Eagles win the game and Jalen Hurts and/or Saquon Barkley has not had a moment, that becomes shocking to me. I don't mind.
Well, it's 425 to 1.
No.
Too,
I would say much more willing to play a long shot on the Eagles side.
Yeah,
I do, but even still, narrative wise, so if you're taking a long shot, you're building this narrow range of outcome in terms of the game. So like what you described, you're also saying that they're gonna win the game in spite of Barkley having a lot of success, and they're gonna win the game in spite of Jalen Hurts having a tremendous amount of success. And then when I think about a game where they're having no success, I'm like, well, damn, Jalen Hurts is gonna have like 15 carries. Which means how does he not have like 75 yards to 90 yards running and a touchdown? Right. And there he goes, gets the MVP.
Well, what if it's a 21-17 game? Mahomes has the ball. He's driving for the final touchdown. Reed Blankenship, the guy who's led the team in interceptions, pick six, 600 to 1. I'm going to put $5 on that.
I am willing to entertain the idea that if you shut down Patrick Mahomes, that could be enough excitement.
You will get credit for it.
But I just think in the world where you've shut down Patrick Mahomes, you've held him like Vic Fangio has never held Patrick Mahomes to fewer than 21 points. So let's just throw 21 points out there. That means you're scoring more than 21, which means Barkley and/or Hurts have probably done something. So it's going to have to be more than one spectacular play, is all I'm saying.
But that's why
the world of
the
being
two guys
real.
I like, and I'll throw you know what, I'll throw Quinyon in there.
But yeah, I would play an Eagles defensive player before I would play a Chiefs defensive.
As far as
player,
Eagles
sure.
defensive players,
Quinyon, Nolan Smith, and Reed Blankenship. Small sprinkle on all those.
They're long enough,
and they're like 500 to 1,
which
600 to 1.
By the way, shout out to some places out there. The list I pulled, Sean.
Yes,
there are 88 players listed for MVP. There will be 90 players active on game day.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean,
they're offering the punter,
backup quarterbacks,
and that's the other thing.
Gilly is on there. Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey's listed.
I was listening to a show that, and they were making the host likes a sprinkle on Butker, long shot MVP for the Chiefs. That I could just.
I honestly think Jake Elliott has a better chance than Butker does.
Again, it's easy to poke holes in a 500 to 1,
right?
But like the game script for a kicker to win MVP to me is insane, especially on the Chiefs side.
Well, they were saying last year he would have had it if that shenanigans didn't happen with the overtime. They were saying because it was, I think it was all field. There was a situation where it was all field goals. My situation is the writers vote for this. They're not giving Harrison Butker the MVP.
No, they hate Harrison Butker.
I mean, yeah,
he's a bad guy.
That's why I'm saying I'm not voting Elliott, but at least Elliott has a narrative of everyone's given up on him. No, he's inconsistent.
Sean,
if he kicks 5 field
Mahomes
goals,
still would have won it.
You know what
I
happens?
I don't care how many field goals he hit.
If Butker hits 6 field goals,
right,
and the Chiefs win 18 to whatever, Mahomes gets it because the 3-peat.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I mean, so again back to why I like.
And
Mahomes.
he had 66 rushing yards in that game. Are you kidding me? He's gonna get so much credit. So to that point,
but it all came late. They were saying it was coming down there. You know, if it didn't
let me ask you this:
but again,
I'm not defending the play.
No,
I'm just saying that's where that logic is coming from.
If you knew the Chiefs won the game, and you didn't know how the game went, but you knew the Chiefs won, what would the price for Patrick Mahomes be? Minus 2,000, like.
Chat bringing up a good point that Kareem Hunt also has some skeletons in his closet that may.
Yeah, but they gave Ray Lewis the MVP. They just didn't let him. They just didn't let him say, "I'm going to Disneyland." Trent Dilfer, you get out there. You did the Disney ad.
Great news, Trent. You're going to Disneyland.
You don't get the trophy, but
they didn't have surveillance footage of Ray Lewis disposing of the white suit.
Right.
They did have surveillance footage of Kareem Hunt playing kickball.
CJ, what do you like? What do you like MVP? Do you have any long shots that are interesting?
Sure. To tap on I agree with the Eagles defense I do like the Nolan Smith. I like the Zach Bond, of course, too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's the only defensive player of the year. I mean, you could do a game where he has like 18, 19 tackles. I think that's the only way to do it. But we were talking about it earlier. It's usually a defensive end who's going to get sacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like Josh Sweat at 350 to 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a crazy number. I mean, I get why they're all crazy numbers. And I went with Milton last week. He didn't really do much, but I kind of like how my handicapping is they want to double Jalen Carter, triple Carter,
and then creates the opportunities for Nolan Smith on the edge.
Absolutely.
But you can say for Sweat too. It's just Nolan Smith's been having an incredible postseason.
100%. But obviously the Super Bowl, someone steps up. I do want to talk top of the. I think it's actually an interesting conversation though with the top two there with Philadelphia, because I've never seen before the quarterback being the third odds there for MVP for Super Bowl, with Barkley at 280 and Hurts at plus 370.
No, but like last year, I don't remember off the top of my head. Kramer, you might be able to pull it up there on the sheets, but Christian McCaffrey was probably lower odds than Brock Purdy, because I felt like we had similar conversations about Brock and Christian McCaffrey, right? Or how am I remembering?
And the reason why I would take Purdy, I've gone back and forth with this because I think, that's good value on Hurts.
Yeah.
But also, if Hurts has a good game this year, passing wise, that doesn't mean that's not good for the Eagles. Now, if Barkley has a good game, that's how the Eagles going to win. I wouldn't say the same about the Niners last year. Of course, McCaffrey's going to have a good game, but Purdy was capable of putting up numbers without McCaffrey having a huge game to win the MVP.
Well,
I don't think that's true with the Hurts and Barkley.
Hurts and Barkley, it's interesting because to your point, like the conference championship game was Hurts actually kind of carrying them to a certain degree, throwing it, but he also got 2 tush pushes and then got a third rushing touchdown. So
100%, which obviously could happen in this game as well.
Yeah.
Barkley also was shut down for the fourth quarter in that game too. His numbers probably would have been even. He would have been having those Will Shipley runs up the middle. He would have had those yards.
I mean, there was a world where he probably, if they called some Barkley handoffs instead of the tush push, he could have had 5 touchdowns. It's crazy.
Speaking of which, DraftKings puts the birthday boy prop up there, 150 to 1 for 5 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
Barkley. That's a play.
That's I think up to 4 touchdowns at 90 to 1.
But you're right. He could have 6 for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurts did have the one long run, so 5 would have been easy. At the same time,
so what are you doing? Are you playing Barkley or Hurts? Or are you like splitting your unit on each of them? What are you doing here, CJ?
Well,
chop that unit up.
Chop that unit up. I would recommend Barkley just because. Talk about the storyline, and he has to get some award for this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get nothing. They're going to Lamar and Josh Allen are sitting at home with the MVPs.
Yep.
And Barkley's had this monumental historical season. He has to get some kind of hardware. They're going to want to give it to him. Obviously, everyone considers him the best player coming in. Like Hurts has already been disrespected as long as most of the year. So I would go a couple defensive long shots. Other than Barkley, though, there's no one really. Although I was saying earlier, I do see a world where Devontae Smith has a couple touchdowns in there where they would like to give him in.
What's his number?
He's at 50 to 1.
Now, now we know how bad the Chiefs are against the tight end. Do you take Devontae Smith at 50 to 1, or do you roll the dice in Dallas Goedert?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas Goedert at 125 to 1 is very interesting.
Man, this is tough.
Very something.
I think I'm just gonna stick with Hurts, my boy, my dog.
All right.
Getting the tush push, the brotherly shove, and then the long shots defensively. Nolan Smith, Quinion, and Reed, the guys in the secondary.
Yeah.
Or 2 guys in the secondary, and then Nolan Smith, who I think could have the sacks that could be interesting.
Put me down for a Kareem Hunt, dude. Just a hedge.
What is that number?
Kareem Hunt, we're seeing it like 60 to 1.
60 to 1 for Kareem Hunt.
Do you think he can get there with only 2 touchdowns?
Yes, of course he can. And like
game script, yeah.
Right. 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Why not?
We might not see eye to eye on that one.
You think it has to be 3 touchdowns?
I mean, it depends.
It would have to be a very low scoring game.
100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Mahomes doesn't throw for 150, which he's done this year several times. His numbers are bad.
His numbers aren't good.
I mean,
it just doesn't matter though.
I know it doesn't matter.
He throws for one. The first touchdown he passes for, he's got the MVP if they win.
I'm just saying, for an RB1, this is an amazing number. You're talking about the RB1 of the team,
for sure,
of the favorite of the Super Bowl.
I agree. The usage of Pacheco makes this more interesting.
There's no platooning going on. He's got Wally pipped. Pacheco, you can say he's not healthy, whatever. He's just done.
Devontae Smith is from Louisiana, and if you remember, going back to Dallas Goedert, as you like to call him, CJ, with the Cajun pronunciation here, Goedert had an amazing game against the Saints.
Sure did.
In that same Superdome.
Played, saved the season. That third down
seriously.
Yep.
All right, so
Goedert.
All right, small play on Goedert.
Yes.
Wow. All right, so you don't.
Put me in.
I have a much smaller portfolio.
Yeah. Well, again, the 600 to 1.
Devontae.
This is like a Calcutta bet.
the 600 to 1.
Yeah,
it's the golf.
Fantastic.
Golf outrights.
The 600 to 1s, I'm putting like $10 on.
So here's my take.
Yeah.
Mahomes is my play.
Okay.
I am completely. What do we have for the money line right now on the Chiefs?
Minus 130, we'll call it.
Okay, so yeah, I love getting the 40+ cents.
Wait, the Chiefs?
Yeah, minus 130.
Oh, okay.
I'm seeing.
Is that going up? Oh no, you're right. Minus 130 plus.
So
110.
yeah, so I like getting the 40 cents there again. What would that price be if you knew the Chiefs won the game with Mahomes?
Okay.
Now, what I will do is I'll throw 2 fun darts. Now, if you asked me for the choice, if I was playing one of the Eagles chalk, who would I play, Barkley or Hurts? It seems unlikely that Barkley would have a bad game, and so I could see why Barkley is a shorter price than Hurts. But I would play Hurts because he's the quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's also a running quarterback. But I won't play either one of those because I have been working on a little bit of look ahead to next season, and Saquon Barkley now at 451 touches, and while 2 weeks or off is not a full off season, it could feel like that to someone who's been burdening such a load for this team. Only Curtis Martin, Arian Foster, Amon Green, Edgerrin James, Larry Johnson, Eddie George, and DeMarco Murray have had more touches in a season. Now Barkley does play one more game, but what if the unthinkable happens? Give me Kenny Gainwell at 500 to 1. Give me Will Shipley at 1,000 to 1. Pizza bets.
Okay. I'm going to say
offensive line is amazing. Key reason why all of this is happening.
I think these bets are coming from a bad place. I don't like the.
I love these long shots. I thought we were giving out long shots here. Thought you'd be happy with my long shots.
I'll say this. I think you can instead of Will Shipley. What is Will Shipley last touchdown? Like that to me is almost a.
Or you just hit that. It's not going to be very good.
Right.
Do you think they're going to adjust it?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
How many carries does Dallas Goddard get in this game? By the way, speaking of which, is that a way he can get the MVP?
I like how they're like, "Hey, Andy Reid, we can do it too,
absolutely.
Motherfucker."
That was
hand it off to the white guy.
That was quite a force. Him going off tackle with Becton going on there. Those like 2 7-foot monsters, like just coming down there.
That when I saw those, which by the way, we were watching the last time they played in the Super Bowl. They were running that same play back then.
Yeah.
So
they hadn't ran it all.
In my mind, I hadn't really. It seemed like something new, but seeing them run it in the previous Super Bowl was kind of interesting. But yeah. Seemed like an intentional shot to Andy Reid. Like, hey,
we're coming for you with your cute jet sweeps.
We got tight ends too.
Yeah. So of those two, Shipley runs hard and he's involved on kick returns.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Takes a kick return to the house.
Official stance. I think we've entered an era of NFL where the only player that can win the MVP is a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think same applies here for the Super Bowl.
Well, and that's why I think if you're going off grid, you need crazy prices.
Well, let's see. I mean, there was the one like we're saying, the Rams when they gave it to Cooper Kupp instead of Aaron Donald, who should have won it. I mean, if they don't give it to him on defense, but Cooper Kupp was a name, I mean, that was just they do weird things sometimes.
Who
was the quarterback?
Matt Stafford. And Matt, he
was the storyline that year too, coming over from Detroit.
I was surprised. I was a little surprised Stafford didn't get it. Last 10 years, 2 defensive players, 2 receivers, and then the rest quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So who was the other receiver?
That's a good question. A little trivia.
What was the time frame?
10 years. I think he said
10 years. Yeah.
Last 10 years, there's been 2 wide receivers.
We mentioned it earlier.
Cooper Kupp was one.
Cooper Kupp was one.
It was
Kent State graduate.
Yeah, it was that weird Julian Edelman one.
Yeah. But Malcolm Smith really jumps out. I forgot that one. That would take me a long time.
That was the 13-3 Super Bowl Edelman one?
Yeah.
Gronk should have won that one, right? Wasn't that the
no? Because Edelman just had like 10 catches.
But Gronk had that one, the only good play of the game, that 140-yarder.
The Patriots really ruined football there.
That game was terrible.
McVay.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't give it to.
And now my favorite thing I remember happened afterwards was like ESPN guys yelling at us for not liking the game. Like, if you didn't like it, then to watch something else. Watch something else. Well, what choice do we have? What are you talking about? Everything else goes dark. We have to watch it.
Edelman 10 for 141. Gronk had 6 for 87.
Yeah, but that's Gronk's.
Sony Michel 18 for 94 and a touchdown. Brady 21 to 35, 262 and an interception.
That's the one where the refs gave the Rams versus Saints in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they didn't deserve to be there. So, yeah, no, that to me is always the live over game where Bowser at the party just kept going. I got to take the over. They're gonna start scoring eventually, and it was just an ugly, crappy Super Bowl.
Kramer, I got a question for your database there because you were saying it's worth it for sense, which you've kind of talked me into the Mahomes MVP one. What about the -1.5 to -130 money line of 20 cents, where games only come, I believe, are decided by 1 point less than 5% of the time. I think it's something like that.
I mean, it's not. It's very clear to me that this has the type of game. This game, the build here, the fan base is it does strike me as we could have the holy shit 1 point game.
Yes, and especially now with the playoff overtime rules, I would suggest that you go for touchdown.
That being said,
the other team gets a touchdown, wants to go for 2.
If the question is money line versus spread,
yes,
we had the same thought exercise last week. Okay. Sean said, "Ooh, I'm scared. Give me the money line." I said, "Give me the fucking spread."
Yeah,
I'm not worried.
And that was 2.5.
Yeah, basically,
I think 1.5, 2.5 is a world of a difference to me.
I'm not. Well, first of all, no, I don't think it's appropriate value where it stands right now. I
mean, obviously, it's a peace of mind you're going with when you go with the money line.
Those points between, like the points from 2 to 0.
Well, in my defense, if the Bills get through that 2-point conversion, then that cashes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we can talk about a lot of alternate realities.
But I mean, he was on the inch line. It's not like it was a crazy
but also,
scenario you couldn't play out.
If we're just talking about the value of points that close to 0, they're not worth the what was he? 20 cents is what we're saying. I assume it's a -110 to a -130.
-110 to -130. That's what I'm asking.
Definitely not worth the 20 cents.
Okay.
Mailman Mike, do either Mahomes or Hurts catch a touchdown pass plus 1,600? I don't think you're getting a great price for that. Would be my take. Also, I would shop around. I would look at the other way to play this, and that it's a non-quarterback to throw a touchdown. I think you're going to get a better price on that. And you're not locked into it has to be caught by Mahomes or Hurts.
That was that hit last year, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was. Who's it? Deebo Samuel,
first touchdown, right?
I don't know if it was the first touchdown. I feel like it was chalky first touchdown. Oh, but maybe it was. I forget who he threw.
Deebo threw it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Which, by the way, that was a 5-2 Super Bowl for the number honks.
Wow. Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
Let's see here.
Can we call those squaregamis?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey threw it to Juwan Jennings.
It was chalky because Christian McCaffrey scored it, but it was
no. He threw it.
He threw it.
You're right.
Yeah,
Juwan Jennings.
Jennings almost got the MVP if the Niners win that game.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. He was in the mix because he threw that 21-yard touchdown.
And he caught 2 of them, right?
He caught 2. Yeah, no, he received the pass from McCaffrey.
Yeah, then he caught another one, didn't he?
Yeah, he caught. Brock Purdy threw him a 10-yard,
right?
And then Moody had the extra point blocked.
Wait, Juwan Jennings threw the pass to McCaffrey.
No, he caught it.
McCaffrey threw it to Jennings.
Christian McCaffrey 21-yard pass from Juwan Jennings.
Oh, Jennings.
Jennings threw it.
Yeah,
that's right.
That goal because that makes sense because I remember whoever scored it was chalky, but the receiver throwing it was the wonkiness.
Yeah, you should get a bonus for that. If I mean, like you should get some kind of juiced up.
Yeah.
If Jennings throws you to throw the ball to a plus 250 first touchdown, that should double.
I'm just looking at the win probability graph here.
Oh, poor. Don't do it to those 49ers.
49ers. My God, what happened?
They had it. Shout out to you, Kyle Shanahan.
Tough to measure clutch.
Hey, we're going to have a whole week of Super Bowl props. 59 props for Super Bowl 59. CJ will be back with us next week talking more NFL Super Bowl props. Of course, subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. Get in for your chance for $8,000 in the Squares pool. sportsgamingpodcast.com/squares. Get the big game, 15% off everything.
Yes.
We are going to be restarting this show in a little bit, and we're going to be doing our bonus Patreon episode, the breakdown of the Brandon Lang interview. If you're a gambling aficionado, you know you have to have seen Two for the Money. And this is the movie's based off this guy. It's a quote unquote true story. He's played by Matthew McConaughey. It's a very funny, weird interview for a lot of reasons. We're going to do a live breakdown. So hop on the Patreon, get that bonus episode. Good times there. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Kenny Gainwell, Will Shipley. Fun dart throw, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride.